Josh Hazelwood is a huge loss. But then again, if we see the history that uh, of his career over the last 4 seasons, I
Yeah,
think, uh, if I'm not wrong, I think he's picked up this side injury in the first test of every series over the past 3 or 4 seasons. So I think it's an injury that's been bothering him. I think it's also I think it's also an injury which which comes in with age because
yeah.
pace bowlers the side strain typical wear and tear injury. And I think with the pink, I think he's got two man of the match. No, sorry. In the last in the India game, Tim Payne was a man of the match, but Josh Hazelwood's spell on that third morning of 5 for 8, I think that's what proved to be the point of difference. So
Hmm.
Hazelwood and in Perth, I think he was their best bowler by far,
Yeah,
and
didn't get as many
especially
wickets. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, especially in the second inning. So he plays that in that great Australian attack of Vaughan, Brett Lee, McGrath. Um,
yeah, he ranks among them. Yeah,
so Jason Gillespie proved to be a bit of a he not much of an attention seeker. Here, Josh Hazelwood kind of plays the same role that Jason
hmm.
Gillespie used to play.
Yeah,
So the
yeah,
headlines don't go for Hazelwood, but he
yeah.
does all the donkey work.
Okay, Dopayan, obviously it's a big, big loss, but यहाँ पे किसी को तो step up करना पड़ेगा in terms of how they are going to, fill in for his spot. And I think you expected Pat Cummins to play that role. Scott Boland, of course, has that nagging bounce, has that nagging line. He hurt India in the WTC final. But the big point for me is, and I also want this. I would also like to ask this to Abhijit sir as well. In Perth, what we saw was the Australian bowling attack being taken apart, and they were ground down. थका दिया था यार उन्हें पहले ही टेस्ट मैच में, right? And that is something that we saw in 2021, and that is something that really fills me up with hope. And this is why I think Virat Kohli's 100 was so magnificent कि हमने पहले ही टेस्ट मैच में, पहले ही मैच के सेकंड इनिंग्स में हमने इस bowling lineup को थका दिया था. And they were overbowled. Perhaps they did not expect to bowl this much, and they were coming undercooked into that first test. So how much of an advantage would that be going into this test match? First Bopayan and then Abhijit sir.
See, the first thing I am slightly worried about is the fact that because Australia has dared to go in with four pacers, four bowlers, just four bowlers after the hammering that they have received in Perth, suggests
Hmm.
that this is going to be a really spicy pitch. It's going to be spicier if we
Hmm.
say that the earlier one was spicy. So that itself that is slightly worrying because this is a gamble because if you have gone for so many runs, you
Yeah.
had to go deep into second new ball and could not get the opposition all out, and then you are going with four bowlers means that there is a lot in it for the pacers. So that's what I am. And if that 6 millimeter grass and the pink ball both come into play, I don't know. It could be that kind of that lottery pitch where the way India was playing in
Hmm.
India against New Zealand, those second and third test match pitches were basically lottery. The moment you lost the toss, you were on the back foot, and so that I am guessing Australia is so desperate that they're going for that kind of a method. Like they are probably taking a chance, and I don't know. This becomes like too much of a
Okay.
like it is a lottery test match for me. I hear
Okay.
sometimes how
Okay.
good the bowler is does not matter. Even
Okay. Okay.
Washington Sundar can come and take 7 wickets in a test match in India
Hmm. Hmm.
ahead of Ashwin. Then here also I don't know. Scott Boland ends up getting 7 wickets. Like it's tricky.
Okay, we'll talk about this factor. But first, Avijit sir, do you think Australia's attack a little jaded from that Perth outing already? First match of the series, second match of the series. That's going to have an
I,
impact.
I don't think it was definitely jaded in the second innings of Perth, but this is a different situation.
Okay.
First of all, it's a different wicket and it's a pink
Hmm.
ball situation. They are
Hmm.
not going to bowl, for 400, 500 वाले scores नहीं होने वाले इसमें.
Okay.
We will be
Yeah.
lucky we'll be lucky if if some team bats more than say 60 to 70 overs. It would be lucky. and they have four medium pacers. They have a half medium pacer in Mitch Marsh. They have a quarter medium pacer in Magnus Labuschagne, who is also doubles up as a spinner, and then they have Travis Head. So the bowling isn't an issue with them. The issue with them is their batting, and I love to see this batting lineup, because this is possibly their best and their weakest batting lineup at the same time. It is the best batting lineup because it has their best batsmen, and it's the weakest batting lineup because when the best batsmen go out of form, you cannot drop them.
Yeah.
So they are stuck with them. Say we cannot drop a Rohit or we cannot drop a Virat. So they will be there. So they are stuck in that similar situation where their best batsmen, Magnus and Steve, both are are going through a very bad patch. And Nathan McSween, he seemed to look like, and I'm not comparing, he seemed to look like their Abhimanyu Ishwaran in the first test, a little fish out of water. That kind of a situation he was in.